Welcome back to another video, though sadly this one will be a little bit shorter. In this clip I'll be starting the painting process for my Befehls Panther. This is the first of many to come painting videos, which I think will be split up into multiple clips, as the time to paint a larger kit like this does take a while. There were a couple of issues here and there along the way, such as my compressor dying mid-airbrush, being caught out yet again by Dragon's magic track count in the manual, and my webcam actually deciding to die while mid-paint. Now it should be noted, with the magic track count, the last two Dragon Panthers that I've built before this one did fall short in the count as well, though one of them was a Yag Panther. Sadly I didn't record the build for this kit, but I do have a surprising amount of positive things to say about it. Firstly, the parts are brilliantly crisp and detailed. The new era tooling has really shone through here, and I think the end result will be awesome. Secondly, the tank practically puts itself together, and I think it's about one of the absolute smoothest builds I've ever done. Now, I know that I'm fairly young, considering most of my peers in the 135 market are generally older, but I've assembled close to 50 tanks at this point, so I feel that it's fair to assess this kit as pretty decent given my experience. I should also note that I can't speak to the historical accuracy of this kit, but in a general modelling point of view, it's definitely up there, and if you can pick this up for around $80, that's worth the money. One nitpick I have is that with the magic tracks themselves, which strangely had a lot of flash, isn't very typical, and upon checking the other Dragon Panthers that I have with magic tracks, they were, as expected, mostly flash free. Not being fully sure of the Scherzen on real Panthers, I believe they're meant to be fairly flat when assembled. Not bowing and such, but the tension to place the sheets between the rails has mine bending slightly and were a little tricky to fit, but I don't actually mind the look. To start off with, I use a matte black spray to lightly coat all of the parts before I move on to a basic colour close to the initial Dunkelgelb I'll be applying later on, which is Tamiya's TS46 Light Sand. The green you will see being applied is a basic mud mat of the camo stripes that I plan on touching up with the airbrush later, and is TS28 Olive Drab 2. Being quite new to airbrushing, a lot of what I'm doing is still just going by feel and seeing what I like the end result of at this point. And having bought Border's Black Flame airbrush was definitely a good start. For the initial Dunkelgelb and Resedegron, like all my German tank colours, I use AK Interactive's line, mainly being the 3rd gen, along with their acrylic thinners, all of which I bought through B&A Model World here in Australia. Now just to take a moment, I did have a lot more footage of this paint section saved, but as mentioned earlier, my camera died and the result was a huge chunk of footage being lost. The good news is, down the line I'll be aiming to get a better microphone and camera to improve the quality of these videos, but as of yet I don't have an ETA. And these things are definitely required, especially the camera, so I can make the viewing experience just a bit better. Especially given that I've got quite a few projects in the future pipeline that I'd like to share with you guys, and I believe that they need to be of a better quality, especially when it comes to my two 1/350 scale battleships. When applying the transfers, I tend to just use water and let them get into position before giving them a light tap and letting them sit a moment. Also giving the center of the transfer a couple of small holes to allow any air and moisture to escape. After they've had a while to dry out, I like to give them a light coat of Dulux Matte Clear specifically when dealing with Dragon's transfers, as I find it binds to them nicely and helps them blend into Zimmerit better. But always be careful with what sprays you use around transfers, as some will be eaten by certain brands of sprays. From here I'll be leaving the Panther to properly sit and dry with the glue and transfers before I move on to add in the additional track links and begin the actual detailing. So I guess it'll take a spot on my to finish shelf, which as you can see currently has just a few on the go. And that's about it for now. I hope you enjoyed watching and that any of the information in this video was of some use to you. Cheers until part 2.